Good morning and happy new year. Hope y'all 2024 is going as lovely as mine. But I just wanted to make a quick video about borrowing out of your cash value on your whole life insurance policy. I wanted to address one specific issue. And yeah, I'm in my truck this morning. But I heard a lot of agents, and I'm not making this video to speak really against what somebody is saying. I just want to make something clear so people that are looking into insurance, who looking into different wealth building strategies can, be educated on the situation. A lot of times you have some agents that are telling people term is better than whole life. You got some people saying whole life is better than term. I believe they both have their place. They're both are selling. So they both been selling, they both still selling now, they're both gonna keep selling. That means they both have value. It's value in both, obviously. So when somebody says never do this, red flag for me. I don't tell people never do this. No, always do that. No, I don't say that. It depends. Everything depends on a person's situation. And if you're truly looking out for the best interest of your client, you're gonna look at their situation. You're gonna check what are your goals, what you're trying to accomplish. And that's how you're gonna determine and come to a conclusion of what's best. But back to what I was saying about the situation that was on my mind is a lot of people saying when you borrow from a cash value policy, you don't get to keep both. You don't keep, if you pass away, your family get your death benefit or the cash value, but not both. But let me give you another scenario. Just say you buy a house. Your house builds equity. You decide you want to borrow from your equity. Your house, just say your house is worth $200,000, and you borrow $100,000. Just say it's paid off. You borrow $100,000 of that value from your house. You still have $100,000 left, but you took the $100,000. You pass away. And somebody sells the house, your family or whatever sell the house. You got to pay the $100,000 to the bank. So what you gonna have? $100,000 left, right? Because you had $200,000 in value. You borrowed $100,000, so you have a loan out on the house. So you have $100,000 left. You pass away, and the house gets sold. You don't get to keep the $100,000 that was pulled out, plus the other $100,000 that was still there. You only have the $100,000. So it's up to you to take that $100,000 that you pulled out and add more value. It's up to you to take that $100,000 and go invest into some more property or into another asset so that $100,000 can do something for you. You still have the $200,000. What you did with that other $100,000 is up to you. If you threw it away, you threw it away. If you bought assets with that $100,000, then you can have more than that $200,000 now, because you have $100,000 still in the property, and you have $100,000 that's, you might have turned that into $200,000. Now you got $300,000. So it's up to you what you do with what you pull out. But of course you don't get to keep both. We all know you got to pay the bank back. Okay, let's go back to the whole life policy. If you have $200,000 in cash value, and then you borrow $100,000, you're borrowing actually from the insurance company. You're not taking out. You're not withdrawing your cash. Your cash still growing, just like that house. When you borrow out, that house is still appreciating. It don't stop appreciating because you borrow on against your equity, the entire value of the house continues to grow. Same thing with the cash value. It's still getting paid interest every year. It's still compounding. You borrow from the insurance company. They use that as your collateral. Your death benefit is your collateral. Just like the total value of the property. If you pass away, what you borrowed out gets subtracted from that. Same thing with cash value. If you have $200,000 in cash value, you borrow out $100,000, and you pass away, they're gonna pay your family $200,000, your death benefit, $200,000 minus the $100,000 that you borrowed. So when the agents say you don't get both, you're not supposed to. You're paying for a death benefit. You got that. Now when you borrow, they're supposed to subtract from what you bought because they're giving you some of that in advance. The cash value is growing. Now, if you want the whole total death benefit to be paid out to your family, then what you need to do when you borrow out that $100,000, you need to pay that back. And in my opinion, it's only smart to use that borrowed money out of your cash value to buy an asset so that asset can pay that money back for you and you still have an asset. So if you do pass away, your family got the remainder of whatever that death benefit minus what you borrowed. They still have that $100,000 plus they have the asset. So nothing is still being taken away. You borrow. Buy asset with what you borrow, or pay down higher interest loans with what you borrow. So that way you're paying off debt at a cheaper rate, or you bought an asset that will earn you money. So there's no minus. The only time you lose if you borrow and go shopping. You borrow and buy a liability. That's when you lose. So when somebody is telling you, hey, always by turn, because if you pass away, your family ain't gonna get the cash value and the death benefit. They're not supposed to. If you take some of that cash value, then they supposed to subtract that from your death benefit. You took some of it. Now, if you never touched it, then they get the death benefit that you paid for, which is going to be more than what you paid in. That's what you buy life insurance for. It's for a death benefit. The cash value just happens to be there if you need the money. That's why it's there. It's not there for you to. It's not there for you to have cash value and a death benefit when you pass away. It's not what it's for. You buying a death benefit. So, if y'all got any more questions about this cash value policy, I enjoy discussing this topic because it's a major foundation to building generational wealth. That cash value continues to grow. If you never touch it and let it grow, that's cool. You can withdraw from it later as retirement, or if you're an investor and you start businesses, you can be using that money to invest, buy real estate, whatever you want to do while you're still living. And as long as you don't pull all of it out and not at least pay your interest, your policy won't lapse and you'll still be okay. But if you're going to borrow, buy assets. Let the assets pay the loan back. No big deal. You borrow from the bank, you pay them back. If you pull money out your bank account to invest, that money stops growing until you put it back. And then the bank starts back paying dividends or whatever, what they pay on that, which we all know the bank don't pay much. But in a whole life policy, they actually pay between 3 and 6% normally from what I've seen. Now, all of that is a little more complicated. You need to talk to an agent that is well versed with this kind of policy because it depends on a lot. It depends on the company selection is important. Policy design is important. So you just can't go somewhere and say, give me a whole life policy, and you get the policy that you can actually use and it's maximizing your income. It don't come automatic. You have to go to a life insurance agent that understands this type of policy. Some agents don't understand this type of policy, so they're going to speak against it because that's what they're trained to do, because they don't understand it. And so that's not what they sell, which is not right. It's not ethical to speak against something to sell something else. I mean, what I do, I just educate and give information on both and help you make a decision. So when you want life insurance, make sure you are getting information, not dictatorship. You don't want nobody to tell you, hey, never do this, never do that, always do this. And when you look at it, maybe what they're trying to push to you is all they sell. Now you know why they're doing that. I just try to be the resource and help you do what's best for you. Enjoy y'all new year. If you got any questions about life insurance in general, I specialize in this cash value policy, whole life, with a laser focus on maximizing that cash value. That's what we want. A lot of times, a lot of people don't have a lot of money to put into a life insurance policy. So a lot of people just don't get it. They eventually quit paying and it lapses. But with whole life insurance, it's not about what can you afford. You can transfer your savings and minimize the insurance costs, maximize the cash value. Now you have access to the majority of what you just put in, if it comes down to that. And it's being paid interest while it sits there. So I'm going to end it there. But, whole life policy is not the monster that a lot of people make it. It's okay to have term. It's okay to have a whole life. Just know what you need based on what you're trying to accomplish. Enjoy y'all day and the rest of y'all 2024. Hopefully all of the New Year's resolutions come true. Peace.